In this video I'm going to talk about human augmentation in movies and in series. And I'm going to discuss 6 types of augmentations, and I'm going to give 9 examples of human augmentation in movies and in series. My name is Peter Joosten. I'm a biohacker and a cyborg futurist. And I write articles about the topics of human augmentation, human enhancement, biohacking, technology ethics and much more. So if you're interested, go down below and visit my website. And I also make videos, so if you like this video, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel down below. Then you will get a notification when I publish a new video. So that's awesome. And also if you want to hire me, because I also deliver keynote presentations, I do webinars, I do consultancy on all these topics of the future human. There are also links to my keynotes, webinars and consultancy in the show notes down below. So what is human augmentation? Human augmentation is the use of technology to increase human capabilities. So think of increasement in cognition or maybe physical performances. And there's a lot of overlap with terms like human enhancement, biohacking, maybe also transhumanism. So if you really want to make a deep dive into this topic, I wrote an article on human augmentation and also about the different terms with, for example, the differences and the comparison with human enhancement. And I also made a video about human enhancement. So what is human enhancement, but also what is human augmentation. So I will share a link to the video about human augmentation down below. So you can watch that video after you've done watching this one. So to give you an overview, I'm going to talk about 6 types of augmentations. First, I'm going to kick off with the vision. So I'm going to talk about smart contact lenses and bionic eyes. Then I'm going to talk about exoskeletons, sensory vests, and then we'll end with the brain, with brain stimulation and also with brain-computer interfacing. And each type of augmentation I will illustrate with a couple of examples from movies or from series. So the company Moyo Vision is working on a smart contact lens. So they want to combine the technology of contact lenses with, for example, augmented reality. And their first stop is they want to develop this for patients, so that, for example, if you wear such a contact lens as a patient because you're visually impaired, then that lens can help you by highlighting people or maybe also zooming in on certain situations. And the question is, when will this smart contact lens will also be commercially available, so not only for patients but also for healthy individuals? Well, in this article they made a statement that that would take a long while before this technology will be on the market. But the concept of a smart contact lens as a type of augmentation really made me think of the series Black Mirror, and especially the episode The Entire History of You. That episode is from 2014, so it's the first season and then episode 3 of Black Mirror. And it goes into the situation where you can see a husband and a spouse and they both wear this smart contact lens where you can record everything. Well, you can imagine what would be some type of implications or ramifications of this type of technology and also this application where you can record everything all the time, and then you can also rewind and replay that situation that just unfolded.
Now, is that funny? What's been going on?
Nothing has been going on. You're getting obsessed.
So for the second type of technology, we'll stay with the eyes. For my book called Supermens, it's in Dutch, I also interviewed Jeroen Perk. And Jeroen, he's from the age of 15, he began to notice that he lost his vision. And he has the disease called retina pigmentosa, where he started to see less and less. And now he's almost completely blind. But then a couple of years ago he volunteered to be involved in an experiment, and they implanted a tiny chip in his eyeball, and he now wears glasses with a camera, and that camera sees the surroundings and then translates it to the electrical signals that are being put into the eye, into the nerve cells of the visual cortex, and now he can see about 40 pixels. And he's really enthusiastic about this technology. He says it's really makes me see again even for a little bit, and he also goes skiing and also goes training with this bionic eye. So that's amazing. But again, it makes me wonder, when would this kind of technology will also be commercially available? So not only for patients, but also for healthy individuals. So not like a contact lens, but really like a bionic eye, where you also have implants into your eyeballs, or maybe also in your visual cortex. And it really made me think of the series Years and Years, which is a British series, and it's about some future developments, not only about technology, but also about developments in politics and society. And there, one of the main characters, she also decides to have a sort of bionic eye. Well, let's see what her parents think of that.
These are interaction nodes. If I use this finger, I can open all the doors at work, no ID. And if I just scan this in a shop, I can pay for anything up to £1,000. And look, Dad, Mom, I've just taken your photo. Send and send. It doesn't need the sound effect. I just added that because it makes me laugh.
So let's go a little further. What if you can also make phone calls with your bionic eye? Well, that's the premise of one of the, I think, most of the funniest cartoons about the future, called Futurama. Season 6, episode 3 of the series Futurama, which aired in 2010. The title of that episode is Attack of the Killer App. They make fun not only of bionic eyes, but also about a really famous technology company, which I must admit, I also like their products a lot, and I also use them a lot for my work and also in my leisure time. So we're gonna watch this little clip.
Say, you're from one of those ethnicities that knows about technology. Why is it called an iPhone?
I'll explain after I install it.
Neat.
Now for the earpiece.
But my favorite app is called Twitcher.
Ow!
Twitcher lets you send and receive short messages or videos called twits. Why, here's a twit now.
Hi, Mom. I love you more than can. Low battery.
But don't take my word for it. Unbiasedreviews.mom says Twitcher is the killer app.
And when I say killer app, I mean killer app.
So the third type of technology are exoskeletons. And I interviewed Danny Jager from the Netherlands about his exoskeleton, because of a motorcycle accident he was paralyzed from about here all the way down. And now he has to move, for example, to work in his wheelchair. But occasionally, about 2 or 3 times a week, he trains in an exoskeleton. And what's really remarkable, because he says it's really good for my body to train in an exoskeleton. What's also nice about the story of Danny Jager is that he also used crowdfunding to finance that exoskeleton. But again, here you see an interesting phenomenon, because we can use the technology of exoskeletons for people just like Danny, but in a lot of science fiction movies we see the use of exoskeletons for healthy individuals, especially in the army. One example is the movie Edge of Tomorrow from 2014 with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, and there they use exoskeletons in the army.
The invasion will fail, along with every soldier you are sending. We lose everything.
Come find me when you wake up.
And another example, which I also really like, is the movie Elysium from 2013 with Matt Damon and Jodie Foster. And there's a difference between the use of exoskeletons in Elysium compared to Edge of Tomorrow, because in Elysium the exoskeleton is becoming an integral part of the human body. So it's really jacked up into your central nervous system, and then you and the exoskeleton are just like one organism. So I would know if I have such an opportunity in the future for which option I would go for. I go for the first one of Edge of Tomorrow instead of the Elysium one, because the Elysium example is more permanent and also invasive. So I would still go for the use of technology where I can go into an exoskeleton and perform my duties as, I don't know, in the army. But also when I'm done with working, I can also get out of the exoskeleton. So I would go for that. I'm curious, would you want to use an exoskeleton? Leave a comment down below.
I need to get to Elysium.
Whoever has this has the power to override their whole system.
Hey, bring down the bone saw!
This ain't gonna kill me. You can save everyone.
We're gonna break into the most heavily guarded place in the universe.
Oh yeah.
Then we continue with Sensory Fest. One of the academics that really inspires me is Professor David Eagleman. He's a neuroscientist, author of several books, and also founder of the company Neosensory. And he really had a remarkable TED Talk a couple of years ago where he demonstrated a sensory fest, where he can have different type of inputs, for example the stock exchange or maybe the vibe on Twitter, for example, and translate it in little vibration into his vest. And of course you can see that as an extra sense to the human body. And it's also interesting that the military organizations are also really interested in this kind of technology. This is an example from the use of this vest by air fighter pilots, but you can also think of soldiers that are marching through the woods with just a vest. You can, for example, use it as a commander. You can say, oh, the troops have to go to the right, and then as a soldier you feel a little vibration on the right side. Or, for example, if you know that the enemy is on the left, you get another type of vibration on the left side of your vest. So these are interesting applications. You can also think of using just a vest when you work in a factory or in a warehouse. So you get a notification when, for example, a machine is running, or when other important things are going on in your surrounding, and you have to have your focus on other things, and then you get a notification, oh, I should not step back because there's now a truck riding just behind me, for example. What's also cool is that Professor Eagleman was also one of the advisors to Westworld, and I really liked the series Westworld. And here in this series, in this little clip, you can also see the use of these sensory vests by the military personnel in this series. Then we continue with the fifth type of augmentation, and that's brain stimulation. Well, as a human guinea pig and a cyborg futurist, I like to test gadgets myself, and this is the Think, and the Think works with transcranial current direct stimulation. So it sends a weak electrical current between my temple and right here. This is a patch which is meant for more focus and energy. So I hope you notice that I'm really energized and also focused at the moment. So I also think that in the coming years I will see more of these types of gadgets, not only for brain reading and brain interfacing, but also for brain stimulation. And one of the most interesting examples is again a Black Mirror episode, and it goes a little notch further than only brain stimulation, because in this episode called Playtest from 2016, so that's season 2 and episode 3, you get the main character that's being hooked up in a sort of brain stimulation device, and that's being used for him to transport him to a virtual world, to a sort of game. And I should also warn you, because of all the Black Mirror episodes, because I also mentioned the entire history of you with the smart contact lenses, of all the Black Mirror episodes, I think Playtest is the one which leans more to the horror scene. So I really liked it, but I was also pretty scared watching this episode.
Oh, don't worry, it's not permanent.
Okay. What is this, like some kind of like a memory test or something like that?
You'll find out.
Oh, okay.
You might feel a slight twinge as it initializes.
Oh, okay.
Commencing at 5:38. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Nearly there.
Mom! Mom!
So in the previous type of augmentation, I talked about brain stimulation on the outside of the skull, but you can also go inside of the skull. I made a video about Neuralink, which is a quite famous company because Elon Musk is one of the prominent investors in the company, and they are working on a brain implant now for certain type of neural diseases. But they want in the future also want to develop this for healthy individuals, for example, to connect you directly to the internet, to machines, maybe to each other. And putting electronics inside the head is not that strange, because in healthcare, again, we can see, for example, with the use of deep brain stimulation, that's a method that's being used for patients with Parkinson's, and that helps them, as you can see in the clip, to reduce the amount of tremors they have. So again, we see this kind of similarity where we use a type of technology in healthcare to help patients with a certain disease, but there are also some visions and fantasies and also science fiction movies or series where we use the same kind of technology, but then for healthy individuals, to upgrade ourselves, to improve ourselves, to augment ourselves. And one of the movies I really like about this topic is the movie Upgrade from 2018. And what I really liked about the movie, I will not get into any spoilers, but there's a really nice twist, I think, near the end of the movie. So I would really recommend the movie Upgrade.
What if I told you I could offer you something that would enable you to walk again? I call it STEM, a computer chip that has the potential to change everything. It's a new, better brain.
I am STEM, the system operating your body for you.
So to summarize, I talked about 6 types of augmentation. I talked about smart contact lenses and bionic eyes. Then I got into the exoskeletons and the smart vests. And I talked about brain stimulation and also brain-machine interfacing by going inside of the skull. So I'm curious which one of these movies or series, like Westworld, Edge of Tomorrow, Elysium, the Black Mirror episodes called Playtest and the Entire History of You, or Years and Years, or Upgrade, or yeah, I don't know, maybe you have other ideas. Please leave a comment about what do you think, what is your favorite series or movies on the topic of human augmentation. Did you see a certain type of augmentation in another series? Please leave a comment down below. And also if you have a question or a remark, I would love to see your comments. So thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you're still not a subscriber to my channel. And if you want to have in-depth knowledge on human augmentation, technology ethics, biohacking, human enhancement, you can go to my website, which I also share a link down below. And there you can read blog articles, also subscribe to my newsletter and do a ton more. And go to my website if you want to hire me for a keynote presentation, a webinar or for consultancy. And with that, I will see you at the next video.